Previously on Excuse the Cap.
We have a couple special guests. We have my boy Steve Nyse, and also his business partner Kalamari. Thank you guys. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Shitty, the sound effects ain't working, but okay. I'll just have to do that in editing.
You are really bad at your job.
Hey man,
you are
look,
terrible.
I wish
You
y'all-
have
really
like
fucking bad at your
I
job.
wish
you have
y'all
like
could
2
have-
jobs.
I'll be having the shit ready, but like the shit don't be working.
Hold it down for a bit, yeah. Staying by my bedside, let me know now. Traveled all this way here on my own. If you gonna leave, let me know now. Cause I got what you need. Is it in a G or tell me what you need?
I was gonna have Mr. Steve Nyse talk about the other artists he has on his label and that he's trying to build right now or has been building.
Yeah, so shout out to Luke Sky, No Space, and then like as a no space between Luke and Sky. But
And that is
also-
also the song that you hear at the intro of the podcast this week.
it is.
in
It
my
is
head.
indeed. He's a very, very talented individual. Also, Jordan Bernard, we have on the label as well. Jordan Bernard's a very, very talented Christian artist, actually. And those are the two that we actually have on the label right now. We have other prospects, but it just comes down to who actually wants to work and who takes it seriously, because we run into a lot of people who don't, who want to, but they don't. So,
Mm-hmm.
And then Calamari, do you want to speak on part of that as well too?
I mean, Luke and JB are really talented. I guess on the business side of things, yeah, we're just trying to build a record label of the future, and I guess blow these artists up. But at the same time, like, I'm someone that, like earlier, Fly, you said it takes money to make money, and I agree with that sentiment. But I'm someone that has made a lot of money with no money, and just growing up my whole life, like, we didn't have money. Like, I was raised by a single mom, and she had 4 kids. So like, we didn't have bread. Like, she would leave $20 on the kitchen table and be like, "Oh, like, y'all got to figure it out." And we did, because I would look up coupons, or we had like a Burger King right down the street from us. We had a Little Caesars. He was like, "You know what? We not finna buy this Burger King, get 2 meals for $20, and then we splitting the fries together. We finna go to Little Caesars, get that $5 pizza. We gonna have the money left over, and then we gonna buy like something else with it. I don't know."
Mm-hmm.
But it was just always like trying to be resourceful. And I bring that up to say, why did I bring that up? I bring that up to say, I had something to connect it with in terms of
the label.
Yeah, the label.
You said that it takes.
It
He said it takes money to make money.
It takes money to make money. And dang it.
It's all good,
sorry.
bro.
But okay, I mean, speaking on the business side of the label, right? Oh, I was saying that we're trying to blow these artists up, quote unquote. But I guess I don't necessarily agree with even that sentiment, because I have my own business as well right now. I have an online, I guess, e-commerce business where we help people save money on food services. So what I've learned from being in that business, and also being in a iPhone repair company for about 2 years, that if you just get like customer retention, or in this space with music, like fan retention, then like you can make a lot of money, in the sense that if you just get them to re-engage with you and spend money again and again and again, then like it'll add up And so then that's basically the lifetime value of your customer. And like I was listening to like a TED talk by I think someone at Starbucks, like the CEO or former CEO or something. And he said the lifetime value of a customer at Starbucks is $8,000. What that means is if they can get you to buy one thing from Starbucks, then you'll probably spend $8,000 with them before you stop spending money. And so then they're willing to spend $2,000, $3,000 on you becoming a customer. And it may not even take that much money to make you become a customer. So that's why they'll send you an email and be like, oh, come get this free coffee. So now you go in the store, you get a free coffee, and you're like, oh, I actually kind of like this coffee. Or they'll send you something in the physical mail, like flyers everywhere. Basically, they're just buying you. They're just spending money on you because they know that if we get you in our ecosystem, we get you in our environment, that you're going to like the product that we have. And then from then on, like basically they're just paying for you because it's free, right? Free coffee, free pastries, free whatever. And then you'll end up spending a lot more money with them. And one thing that they're good at, right, is microtransactions, because people will just buy coffee every day. Oh, it's only $2. Oh, it's only $3. Okay, well, that adds up. You do that. So that's why, like, you know, and people go there for years. And then also they have the whole free Wi-Fi thing, right? So it's like, oh, you're just going to be there, you know, working on something on your laptop, and you are there for hours. You might as well just buy something. But I bring all that up to say, like, switching it back to music, I'm trying to, like, my goal with working with the artists that we're working with is for them to be able to make a living off of their music. And so right now I'm just trying to hit the $50,000 mark, like $50,000 a year for each artist. So hopefully you're excited to hear that, Steve Nyse. And Steve Nyse also is on the record label as an artist. He didn't say that earlier, but as an artist, a producer, executive, everything. And so, like, $50,000 a year is just 1,000 unique people giving you $50. And that's like before taxes and everything. But just think about it. That's just 1,000 fans. Like, we all have like hundreds of followers on Instagram. We all have like probably about 1,000 friends on Facebook. It's like, okay, who in that space can you start to like garner relationships with that are willing to spend money with you, like on a, I guess, a spread out period, right? Because if we need $50 from one person, and that can be throughout the whole year. So they only need to give us $5 today. Like 2 months from now, they can give us $10. But like, what are we giving them in exchange? You know, and like, if you can, and the thing about, and this is just business and like any business as well, is that it's easier for you to get a customer to buy something from you a second time than it is to get like a customer that you already have to buy something from you a second time than it is for a brand new customer to buy something from you once. And one thing about like marketing and advertising that a lot of people do that I don't do really in my own business, but that a lot of other businesses do, is that they try to target new people to come into the fold instead of focusing on the people that they already have and like making their experience better. Because it's like, those are the people that's gonna ride for you. And there's like that I think Pareto principle, right, where it's like the 80-20 rule. So like 80% of your income is only going to come from 20% of your customers anyway. So it's like, you might as well focus on that 20%, get them to keep buying over and over and over again. So it's like, hey, who's your biggest fan? Is it your mom, your brother, your dad, your cousin? Are they willing to spend $50 with you this year? Because if not, then like, basically you got work to do, because those are the people that love you the most, that are around, are your biggest fans. You got to find some way that it makes it worth it for them to spend money with you, because they're already spending $10 a month on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever. So it's like, even if they just listen to your song, that's only going to give you a few pennies, if that. So it's got to be something like, if they were spending $10 a month with you to listen to your music, like, that'd be dope. But like, why would they do that when they can get all of the music basically ever made with the different platforms? So it's definitely like creative things that have to go on to like get it to happen. But Steve Nyse and I actually just put on a show here at SIU. Well, not at SIU, but in the area. But we put it on independently, and we got about 70 people to come out there. Made a few $100s from it, and we did not promote it as well as we wanted to. We have another show coming up, but it's just to say that, like, you know, generating the money is like it's gonna take some creative stuff to get going and like kind of thinking outside the box, and just 1,000 fans, that can be you making a living off of your music. Like, you don't need 100,000 streams, you don't need 1 million followers or even 10,000 followers. It's just you need like 1,000 people that's like actually riding for you. But yeah, that's my take on it.
Right. And like all that profit was literally just from donations at the show. So I mean, it's cool. It's a good feeling, you know. The one thing I guess I will say, and then, you know, we can do the segment or whatever that we were talking about earlier, if you want, you know. A quality product is a given. The presentation is everything. So you should already have a quality product. The music should be good, whatever. But the presentation is everything, because that's what's going to get people there. That's all I have to say.
And Trey works at a 5-star restaurant as a server right now as well, so he knows all about that presentation. You have to wear a suit there or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have to wear dress clothes with a bow tie and look very nice. And the food is absolutely amazing. We have one of the best chefs in the country, really. He has his own TV show. It's called Food is Love. It's on PBS, and it's also on YouTube. Nevertheless, the food is amazing. So the product is great, what the people are coming for. The drinks are great. Everything's great. But the presentation, when you come in, when you sit at the table, is beautiful. You know, the ambiance of it is beautiful. The presentation of the servers and the interaction with the customers is way above par. So and that's
they don't even have
need to be.
menus in the restaurant. The servers have to memorize the menus and speak it to you. So it's up there. But
That's
I
elite.
Them prices be changing. That's what that mean.
Table to table.
They be like,
ask 'em to
man,
repeat.
wasn't that chicken just about like $40 the other day? No, sir, it's always been $57.
Yeah.
Lies.
So if,
$57.50.
Right. Like Waffle House, y'all ever known that? Waffle House, you go to a different Waffle House, order the same thing, it's always a different price.
I don't go to that nasty ass restaurant, so
Get off that Waffle House.
Damn, what you want with Waffle House though?
Waffle House is trash, bro. That shit is fucking garbage. I'm sorry.
Go ahead and go to the 5-star restaurants. My bad, sir.
I'm not even
Excuse
saying
me.
that, gang, but I'm just saying, like, nigga, we can go to IHOP, nigga. We can make IHOP shake. You know what I'm saying? But we not going to Waffle House. That shit mid. Anyway, we need to move on.
Somebody's screen is being shared.
Zer0 is bringing up the. Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure they
Zer0's
knew
bringing
that
up
was
the
happening.
Twitter.
No, I ain't got no porn. Not on here.
Okay.
Right.
No incognito tabs.
yeah, I mean, we had it on the TV earlier, so it's it's no big deal.
I see. You know.
Hey man.
How the
I'm
hell
just
do you
kidding.
get
Have
to
you
your
guys
like
ever seen The
tweets on
Boys?
here?
Bro, I heard that shit is amazing, bro.
I just
it's
started
great.
it
That's
yesterday.
what-
Watched the very first episode.
Do you want me to just send it to you?
No, I favorited it, but I don't know how do you get to your favorites on the. I
Go
don't
to-
get on
go to
Desktop.
home.
Go to your own
Jay,
profile.
I'm pretty sure I
There we go.
DM'd you
Here we
too.
go.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
This is gonna be
I
a
mean, I
great
guess this is-
conversation.
Since it's on my screen, I guess I can go ahead and just kind of kick it off. So we got a philosophy of life tweet on here. How your childhood affects your love style, psychology thread. And down below in the comments, he's listed off a few different types of love styles, just based on how your childhood was. And we looked at it before getting into the pod.
List the 5 for us real quick, sir.
But yeah, I was gonna, because I didn't know how many it was. But out of the 5, there's the pleaser. This is typically had to deal with extremely critical, but also overly protective parents. They always try to be good and good to do everything right and not to be a burden to their family. There's the victim, typically have low self-esteem in adulthood. Some will live with anxiety or depression. Keyword, people always prefer the familiar to the unfamiliar, even if it is associated with pain. The controller, they usually feel neglected and barely protected. They had to learn early on to take care of themselves and be independent and tough. Controllers typically don't associate anger with vulnerability, but rather as a means of feeling stronger. The facilitator. For a facilitator, their own parents were primarily unpredictable. As children, facilitators never had the feeling that they were very important or even a priority to their parents. On the contrary, they lived with the constant fear of being let down by them. And then lastly, the avoider. As children, avoiders were taught by their parents that feelings make us weak and that we should always strive for independence. They learn early on to be independent and to put aside their emotions and needs.
I know this is going to be a conversation point, but I want to make sure that when we're having this conversation, that we look at the pros and cons of each one of these different styles, because there's definitely is for every single one. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into who wants to go first. No one raised their hand like we're in fucking middle school.
I mean, I can kind of go first because since I already read through it, I personally don't agree to any of these 5. I feel like there should be a 6th one.
0.7.
Like, if I had to choose one,
It's the Infinity
yeah,
Stones.
like if I had to choose one out of these,
The controller.
it'd probably be the controller. But I wasn't neglected as a kid.
Right.
That's kind of like why I don't want to say that, because like my parents did care about me. They did attend like the random events that I did in school and my marching band competitions and stuff like that. So I mean, they were always there. I think it was more because like I feel like there should be a 6th one that's more kind of like how my situation was like my parents, it really felt like they were just cooperating to raise kids. It didn't really seem like they were in love to an extent, because I feel like they didn't even sleep in the same bedroom. Like they did barely went on dates with each other. Like I don't, probably to this day, I haven't seen them like hug or kiss. So like I feel like that doesn't really fit the description of any of these 5. Like I just didn't like see love growing up to an extent. So like I didn't really I don't really understand it to an extent. And I don't really feel like any of these 5 really say that. But if I had to pick one, it'd probably be the controller. Because I'm an independent person. I figure things out on my own. I do things on my own. I live on my own. Things like that. And some people have called me manipulative, even though I don't really believe that. But maybe that's me manipulating y'all.
If you don't mind me asking, are your parents still, I guess, together or like in the same house?
No, when they stayed up until I got to grad school, and then they sold the house, and then they went their separate ways.
Mm.
But there's no beef between them. Like there was no anger.
Mhm.
It was just like this contract was fulfilled. Our sons are
This contract
grown up.
was-
One of them's in college. We're done here. Like it was like a business transaction. There was no hate. It was all
Mhm.
love. Like even we still go to Thanksgiving together with the full family. Never was a big fight. None of that. It was just we're done here.
Yeah. I think that's good because a lot of families just can't solve things amicably. So I think the alternative, if like you just grew up seeing them always scream at each other and fight, break up and all this stuff, is like probably would have been worse.
Yeah, it would have been done. Definitely did more damage than what where you at now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not saying that you're damaging people.
Oh yeah, who in here is toxic?
We all probably are.
That's the
to our
question,
own
ain't it?
extent.
I'm about to say the toxic people.
All of
didn't
us are
raise- Nobody
toxic,
raised their
bro.
hand.
Everybody's toxic.
So what was the first
This is
one
my thing.
again,
I'll be
Zer0?
watching the.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
The
TChill.
first
Pleaser.
one-
The pleaser?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pleaser.
What was
Which one do you feel like you relate to?
I'm kind of with Zer0. I don't feel like I really relate to any of those. I feel like So, I mean, it's a really personal question, but fuck, my dad was always there for everything that we had going on. Came to all like my basketball games, all my football games, regardless. Always took off work to be there. My mom, great mom, like couldn't ask for another one, but she wasn't always there, I guess, for like my sporting events or like events that I had going on. So it was kind of split, My parents divorced when I was in. Actually, my mom left the day before I started kindergarten. I remember that, and it was kind of a really weird situation. But there's no bad blood between either of my parents at all. So I guess I almost feel like I'm a mix between the controller and the pleaser, because I do kind of want to know like what's going on around me, but at the same time I want everybody to be happy, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
But kind of the same situation as you, Zer0. Like neither of my parents have any animosity toward each other. They didn't stay together, to raise us, but they made it work. I mean, we saw both of them all the time, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Very interesting childhood, I must say. And I also have 5 other siblings, so quite
Okay.
the
Yeah,
quite the
I only
family.
had a little brother, so there was only 2
Yeah.
of us.
But both my parents were really good at not neglecting anybody in our family, so that was nice.
Nice. Calamari?
Could I can't even read the screen.
Does anybody have his Twitter?
Is there
so
a way
we can send him that shit?
Is there a way to make like someone's feed like larger, full screen, or not on this?
I can like click
website?
on each of the ones.
There's like there's a little button next to the screen, Steve
Tell you
Nyse. You
what.
want to click on that in the top right, and it makes it bigger.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Enlarges it.
There we go.
I think probably the pleaser.
There's
Number 1, just because yeah, in relationships between me and the women that I've been with in my life, it's like I'm always trying to figure out what I can do for them, and then like if I'm not doing something for them, then I don't feel like I'm worthy of them loving me or being with me, because it doesn't seem tangible to me, right? Like, oh, you're just with me for me, like who I am as a person, right? Versus like, oh, if I help you do this or I help you do that, then like it makes more sense. That's like, oh yeah, that's why you love me, because like I'm trying to think of specific examples, but just like more task oriented things, like something that's like tangible versus just their personality being what's attractive. And I think that definitely has to do with me growing up and being raised by primarily my mother, but also growing up with like 3 other boys in the house, and I'm like the second oldest. So like, and for my mom, like she had 4 children with 3 different guys. So growing up, there was always like this in and out of the house of like my other brothers, like fathers. Sometimes in a romantic sense, sometimes not. But even just as a kid, is like I don't necessarily know what's going on or understand. It's
Right.
like you just have these vague ideas. And so then it's like, oh, I don't know who is who, or like, oh, are they just here because like they're bringing us food and they're just doing like, some like fatherly duties, or like being like fatherly and husband duties type thing, or like boyfriend, it was never really a delineation, and that was not that also like until we were older, maybe like 12 or 13. That was never really explained to us, like any type of the dynamics. So I think like the thing is I think I started to learn from how my mother acted towards the men that she liked, that's what I did as a man towards the women that I liked, which is a complete no-go because men and women are different. And like on average, like basically it's like, I mean, to be completely blunt, it's like I'm acting like a bitch is basically what it is, instead of acting like a nigga. Or I use bitch and nigga as like the equivalents of like
man and woman.
Yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm with you,
But
gang. I'm with you, gang.
yeah, so then it's like I grew up seeing like, oh, this is how you're supposed to love someone, quote unquote. And that's also a lot of things that my mom would say to me is like, oh, this is what you should do for a girl. This is what you should do for a woman. It's like, she never told me, oh, like leave these hoes on red, or like just don't respond to their text, or like, oh, like they just want a lot of attention from you. And, you know, you have to decide for yourself whether or not you want to give attention to them. And like also a lot of them may try to use you. Like just a bunch of, she's not giving me like real game, right? She just told me all of the things that she wanted to have in a man. So she's like trying to teach me or tell me how to be or how to treat women based on what she believes she would want in a guy, like her ideal husband. Because she's trying to raise me to be like a man that's going to be, I guess, who she would be proud of, right? But the problem with that is that there's two different things when it comes to, I guess, being like attraction. There's like attraction and there's like arousal. So like you can like someone but not be aroused by them, right? And that's what a lot of guys fall into. They'll just be in the friend zone because like a girl will like them. It's like, yeah, you're my friend, you're cool to be around, et cetera, but you don't arouse me. So like I'm not sexually interested in you at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was like what my mom raised me and my brothers to be, which obviously naturally she would have to be. Like, I mean, unless she has something wrong with her, she's not raising us in a way that's like, oh, this is what you need to do to like arouse a woman. I mean, she could have said it in that way, but it's like just not what she did, right? Because she's not thinking of it from that perspective, because she's not like trying to be aroused by us like we're her kids. She's just saying like what would be like what she would like in a guy. But it's like, okay, but yeah, that's just gonna put me in the friend zone. And that's how I grew up, is just being in the friend zone with a lot of girls. So then, and I think like I guess I'm saying like my my style is pleaser, and I've realized that, but I realized that like that isn't what I want to be or what I think helps to be the most successful in relationships for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a lot.
It was
No
a lot.
worries, bro.
It was a lot,
good,
but I actually like, I'm with you 100%. Me and you have very similar upbringings. I was raised by a single mom too, and I identify with pleaser as well. And everything you said about feeling like you're acting like a bitch versus being a nigga, all that type of shit. Like, I'm not even gonna spend much time with what I was gonna say, because you literally hit every single point that I was gonna say. Every single fucking point. Like every single fucking point. So yeah, I'm right there with him with the whole pleaser thing. I just think it's funny that like we're taught all these things. Well, at least, people who are raised by primarily mothers are taught all these things about how be good to women. But like women don't know how to appreciate it. Like they'd rather have like, a dog ass nigga, or like, a man that's like more, I'll put it this way, has more like a dominant energy, I guess. I think that's like the biggest difference between like men. I don't want to bring race into it, but I kind of do. Like black boys that are raised by their mother versus black boys that are raised by like their father and mother. Like they have like a more masculine energy about them. I think that's what like brings the arousal for women to men in a lot of situations. But with us, we kind of have like, and there's nothing wrong with it. We're still great men. Like we have a more feminine energy. And so like only certain women are attracted to that shit. Not all, because like even I have a problem. I moved to Dallas because obviously it's a fun city. I love it. But like also I wanted to find like a black wife. Right. But like that doesn't mean that like all black women are attracted to me. Like I actually rarely get looks from black women. I never knew what it was. I don't know what it is, whatever the case is. But I think it has something to do with like, not always having that father figure in my life and having like being like a super dominant, man. Like a lot of black women like look for that type of shit. A lot of women in general look for that type of shit. So yeah, I'm right there with you, dog. I'm right there with you.
I completely agree with you too, because I have 4 sisters. Well, yeah, 4 sisters and 1 brother. And I mean, not that it means anything, but my brother is also gay. So it's like I'm a very feminine man as well. Like I have a lot of feminine qualities. And same thing, like I definitely don't get a lot of looks from girls, but I don't mind it because I'm not really focused on that right now in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just a caveat off of you, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. And I think that, like you said, there are lots of women out there that do like that kind of more feminine presence and want that instead of like a more masculine person. And I feel like relationships that happen out of that are genuine because you actually have a friendship and not so much of a sexual relationship. I mean, you still have that, but it's not all about that. It's more about the friendship.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot sometimes with like those more dominant men, like women are shut down. Like they don't really have like a lot of space to like give their opinions and things of that nature, right? So like, I don't know. This might be a situation, Kalamari, where like we not winning now, you feel me? But like later, once they get tired of that shit, we might, we might, catch a couple dubs here and there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
but I'm not folding
we'll
for
see,
that
though.
because that's when they already used up or washed up, where they're like 32 or 35 and they're like, oh, like where are all the real men at? Or like I'm done having my fun, like I'm trying to settle down. And it's like, okay, but you look worse, or you already have a kid, or like you've already been through so much trauma. Like you
That's
already have a
bars.
bunch of
That's
you
bars,
already have a
brother.
bunch of bull you already have a bunch of BS that like you're gonna bring to me, or you're gonna like make me have to qualify to you that I'm not like all the other niggas that done ran through you. So it's like versus I could just like mess with someone that's younger or just someone that just hasn't been through that. I think it's really just like becoming more attractive and just having more options. So then you just kind of get to pick like who you want to be with out of the people that want to be with you. It's like I'd rather just be Drake and just it's just pre-selection. Like the women already know who you are. They already want to be with you. And I mean, I've analyzed like relationships and all this stuff like a lot, and I watch like a lot of dating content. But like even like if you think about from childhood, like being in school, like girls were just always attracted to like the status. It's like in high school, it's like the football players or the basketball players were the ones that basically all of the girls already liked them. It's like they're at the games like screaming their name, and you sitting right next to them in the bleachers, they ain't screaming your name. So like there's just this status attached to it. And like then when you grow up, or I mean you could go to college and then it's just like a bigger version of high school. But then when you get out in the real world, it's like we just have high school again, which is like social media. So it's like if you have a blue check or you got a certain amount of followers, or if you a rapper or you're part of some type of culture, or you're lit or celebrity, a figure, then it's like you're the same as like the quarterback that was on the team in high school. So like, bro, I saw this girl post a video the other day on Snapchat where y'all know that white dude that has like a really long neck. He was like long neck and he just went viral a few years ago.
Like, yeah.
So this dude just randomly followed her on Instagram. And like he has like 2 million followers and he's verified and stuff. And she like posted a video on Snap of her crying because he followed her.
Why?
Because she was like, he's famous. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
But that shit is so fucking corny though, bro. Like that shit is lame to me. Like I don't know. Like
But
I don't
the
know.
thing is, I
Like-
feel like a lot of that's also might be an age thing, right? But I feel like a lot of girls just like are maybe not to the crying point because she's definitely a clout chaser, but like they have that feeling. Like I saw this thing the other day, or not the other day, a few months ago too, where like Drake, like some dude commented on his picture, and then Drake said, "Oh, I'm about to follow your wife and like make her day." I don't know if y'all seen that, but like
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw that.
yeah. So like that's an example is like, you know, she posted all about like Drake following her and stuff. So like she's excited. She's probably still talking about that to this day, the same way I am right now. But
I think that
like versus her husband is like you basically not on the same level. And so it's I don't know.
and it all goes back to like what women are raised to want. And that's like somebody that can provide for them and shit like that. You know what I mean? So like nowadays it's more like if you're verified, then like you said, you're lit, which means that you're probably making a good amount of money and you can provide a lifestyle for me that, you know, makes me comfortable. I can get my nails done and my feet done and I can go buy bags and I can go get my makeup done and all this other type of shit. You know, like that's basically like if women been looking for the same shit since the 1960s and 50s and shit. It's just social media. The social media aspect is there now.
Yeah, I think as a guy, like as guys, if you're straight and you're attracted to women and you're in the United States, just become the dude that like every girl swipes right on Tinder. Like even if you don't have a Tinder, but you just are that guy that like they would, because like girls are going to swipe left on like 20 to 30 dudes before they swipe right on one. But like the one that they swipe right on is the one that every girl also swipes right on. So if you're just that guy, then you just have options and like they already like you. So you just get to choose like out of them who you like and who you're compatible with. So then it's like you don't necessarily need to chase them. You really just focus on yourself. Like as a man, like you just chase success, then like the women will be chasing you versus like if you're chasing the women, they're chasing the men that are chasing success. So
that's real.
It's not, it's not a good outlook. I remember like I really wanted to date this girl in high school, right? And she friend zoned me, RIP, right? But she like we would go to the basketball games together, and I was thinking like, oh, we going to the basketball games together, like we hanging out, like, I'm gonna make my move, woo woo. And she just wanted to date the dude that was on the team. And she did end up dating that dude, but it's just funny. So it's like, hey, don't fall into the trap.
That's life. What about you, Fly?
For the list, number 5, The Avoider.
I was gonna guess that.
Dun dun dun.
Black Widow.
It says, as children, avoiders were taught by their parents that feelings make us weak and that we should always strive for independence. They learn early on to be independent and put their emotions and needs aside. I was raised by both of my parents. And my mom, when I was, I don't know, like 11, 12, whatever, she made me start learning how to wash clothes, do dishes, do all that other stuff, clean bathroom, do all the stuff that when I become a bachelor, I would, be able to do this iron, be able to be on my own and stuff. And then when I was younger, if I didn't get my way and stuff, I would, cry and, stuff like that. And my dad would be like, stop all that crying. Why are you crying for, it ain't that serious, blah, blah, blah. So then I eventually learned how to hide my emotions. And I didn't know this stuff until I was like 20 something that I was this way. But so that is, kind of the thing that I do. And it says, as adults, avoiders keep other people at a distance as much as possible, rely on logical and rational arguments rather than going based off of feelings. I've always said I make decisions based off of like logical future outcomes instead of just like, oh, does this feel right in the moment? So I definitely agree with that. And I've kept a lot of people away. I mean, there's definitely been a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's definitely been a few women that got away because I just wouldn't commit. and it's funny because like my parents were very loving to each other. You know, my parents always said they love me, and you know, I saw my parents slept together. My parents, you know, would kiss, hug out in public, all that stuff, dates, all that. But I don't know, something within me, somewhere that just didn't trickle down right, and so then, you know, I you know, avoid stuff. And then the one thing that did stick with me though, that the guy added, because if you look at each one, it tells you how you can work on yourself to become better and everything. And it says, in order to be able to lead a healthy and stable relationship, the therapist couple recommends the avoider type to learn to let others close to them and to deal openly and honestly with their own feelings. Like I said on the last episode, I have been working on that. I've been working on trying to express myself more. You can even see it in the music that I've been making lately. All of that has been coming from the heart. Black Widow is about somebody. Over is about certain situations where I've had to like keep starting over in relationships and just being tired of that. Asking somebody what their favorite color is and all that other stuff. I don't do that as a question, but you know, that's you know, just like those are different things that I've been going through, and I've been finally unpacking that and finally, you know, throwing that in the music, finally saying to myself, hey, stop avoiding love and actually finally find something. You know, you're only getting older, you know, you're not getting younger. If you want to build, you know, if you want to build something big, you need, you know, you need a woman, you know, behind you or to your side. I mean, honestly, I would want a woman to my side, but you know, you need somebody there that's constantly supporting you. When you're down, they're up, but they're bringing you up with you, you know. So, you know, those are just different things I've thought of. So I really liked how it said that you need to start opening up, because, you know, I've finally realized with myself, but I mean, it took many years to even get to that point.
Sure.
Damn. Yeah. No, I feel like that will end up coming though. Like, I don't think it's anything to necessarily worry about. Whenever you meet the right person, you'll know. That's what I think.
True.
My advice for
Yeah,
all you
that
guys:
is true.
don't get married.
That's so crazy, gang.
I've
We
been
was
told
just
that by
talking
so
about that
many
shit,
people.
bro. You talking about that shit on the last pod episode, wasn't it?
One of the
That or
past
Xbox.
couples, yeah. One of the
Gee.
past couple episodes.
That or Xbox.
Our parents really fucked that whole shit up, bro. Our parents, our generation, our generation before us, really fucked the whole marriage thing up, bro. And I want to be
Oh,
married.
yeah.
I do, but they fucking ruined that shit, bro.
Or I guess don't get married legally.
All we know
Don't
is
put it on paper.
Because
That's true too.
no,
I just need
I'm
that
with him
prenup.
though. Remember, Marcus, I was telling you, bro. If we get divorced, I don't want to hate you afterwards. So don't take my money. Like if we don't
Yeah.
work out, that's fine.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the prenup, that helps there, because I feel like a lot of the hate after a divorce stems from the money aspect, because literally the person, one of you is getting fucked over
Facts.
in some capacity.
Somebody is.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like personally I have a lot of love for my exes, so, and I wouldn't want that to go away, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Money to ruin that.
some of my exes fucked up my other exes.
Some of your exes.
Want nothing to do with y'all.
Oh shit.
Well, we have been here for a smooth hour and 45, and this has been Excuse the Cat. Are we ready to close, D, or is there anything else we need to talk about?
No, just continue to look out for Steve Nyse and the Nyse Production, or Nyse Entertainment. My apologies. What they have coming, they have a ton of stuff. Hey, that After Hours by Luke, shout out to you, my boy. That song I played about 70 times. Telling you, it's a hit. But yeah, just keep looking out for them. They're, man, I hope they take over the world. They're very talented people as well, and yeah, you know, just one short thing. It's nice to see, you know, you guys building, you know, you guys have your like cabin thing over there, Zer0 and TChill, and with Zay, you know, and stuff like that. You know, I'm just pretty much out here a nomad. You know, I ain't got my own nobody. So, you know, it's funny because one time Steve Nyse told me, he was like, it's interesting because you're doing all this on your own. I'm like, that's true, you know. But I do have like, you know, TChill, Zer0, and you guys, you know. So it's, you know, I do like collabing, but it is interesting to see you guys have, you know, different groups that you guys built, and I enjoy like watching all your groups like grow and stuff. So it's very cool to see that as well.
Likewise.
And it continues to motivate me as well to keep going, even though I'm a nomad. But, you know, so, you know, all you guys, you know, just keep pushing. You guys will get there.
You ain't no fucking nomad, nigga.
Thank
You
you.
just don't want to
for
claim
real.
some shit. You ain't no fucking
I'm a
nomad.
nomad. I'm all on my own, bro. I'm the lost flyer for a reason, my guy.
Damn, that you
Just
really
throwing it
living. You really living that avoider title, buddy. You need to go ahead and nigga.
Hey,
own your shit, gang.
this
You
has
need to
been
own
Excuse
your
the
shit.
Cap. We have to get off
You
the
have
show.
friends,
We've been
Durante.
going for a long time.
shit.
This has been Excuse the Cap. You know, I'm Lost Flyer. That is TChill. That's Zer0. Steve Nyse Kalamari. Thank you guys. Shank will be
Thank you,
back
guys.
next
Thank
week.
you.
Looking forward to that.
Is that confirmed though?
Yeah, it's confirmed. He hit me up the other day.
Oh,
He
okay.
need to start telling niggas, gang. He ain't telling. Close the shit out, bro. Close the shit out. Close the shit out.
Thank you all.
Hey, thank you guys.